and about a minute or so after that, we heard a series of shots, and I think 7 or 8 shots, just pop, pop, pop. I was a former Army guy. They sounded like a small caliber weapon, but obviously I'm not sure about that. And it was like all of a sudden just chaos. The Secret Service immediately covered the president, jumped on top of him, and the crowd obviously all went immediately to the ground, to people on their knees or laying down on the ground. And then the president got up and sort of was surrounded by the Secret Service. You see this, you can see him just with a little bit of blood on him, and his sort of fist came out in defiance. And then over my shoulder, behind me, it was clear that somebody had been hit. And so people around this gentleman were trying to administer first aid, and he was clearly, this person was clearly injured. It seemed severely. There was a lot of blood. And eventually, some police officers came up and carried him to where I hope he got to urgent care, and obviously praying for him now. So that was what I saw. I saw the immediate attack on the president, and I saw the fact that this person behind me was injured. But you can imagine with that kind of incident happening, very hard to know what's coming. In fact, I'm not sure whether it was one shooter or 2 shooters. I couldn't really tell. It seemed like the shots were coming from my front. So from the president's left, but which would have made sense why the person behind me was hit. But I'm not sure if there was other shots coming from other directions. So it was, as you might imagine, it was chaotic and confusing in the moment.
I can only wonder what you were going through, David. You and I know each other. Did you immediately drop to the ground to try to protect yourself? Were you standing? What was going on from your first row vantage point?
Well, I immediately dropped down, and then I realized somebody was hit, and then I stood back up to see whether we could get the right medical care. And then people around me were saying, "You got to stay down because maybe there's still more shooters, or maybe the shooter's not been apprehended." And the president had just literally called me up and made a big deal about me. So conceivably I could have been somebody they would have targeted. So I eventually got back down, as most people did. But my initial reaction was, boy, is somebody behind me hurt? How do we make sure they get the right care? And it was such a dense crowd. Getting the right medical assistance back into the crowd took a few minutes. But that was my initial reaction.
Yeah, we know one of the individuals who happened to have been at this rally was shot and killed. Another is in serious condition, we're told, right now. Very, very disturbing developments indeed. And I was watching it live, and I did hear Trump say some nice things about you and invite you to come up on the stage. And he said he'll come up on the stage later and talk. And I'm glad you didn't go up on the stage right away as soon as he mentioned your name. God forbid you could have been up there as well. And I'm sure that's going through your mind right now. Were you alone? Was Dina there with you? Or did you have friends with you?
I was with Mike Kelly and Dan Muser, among others, who are 2 sitting congressmen in Pennsylvania, and some other supporters and friends. And the thing you start to worry about is making sure that everybody has the help they need to be able to get out of there once the panic started. So we all stuck together for a bit, and hopefully people are on their way.
So what happened after the former president was removed from the stage over there, taken to that vehicle, and we're now told he went to a medical facility and he's okay, thank God. But what happened? Did everybody just stay there? Did law enforcement say, "Don't move, this is a crime scene"? What was unfolding?
Well, I'm still there at the moment, so the traffic is gridlock, as you might imagine. So I'm still there. The area where the president left from, they blocked that whole area off. So many of the ways that people came in, or the way to possibly exit, was blocked. And then they pushed the crowd to what the original entry was. So you had the people walking and sitting in their cars, and I think the general feeling was one of disbelief. We sort of all had witnessed something that we still were trying to process. And it was, it was a Trump rally. I've been, this is my second Trump rally.